Assalamu alaikum, this is me Safi and we are here with another video lecture. Well, today we will talk about IELTS listening module and its techniques and tips. So be with me to know about IELTS listening module here with me Safi. So let's proceed towards the topic here. Well, our IELTS listening test, it is in 4 sections. Before 2020, they called IELTS section, but now it is called parts, IELTS parts. So our test is in 4 parts, part 1, part 2 and part 3. We will talk about, so the entire parts we have in IELTS listening, how many parts? There are 4 parts. In IELTS listening module, as I said, we have got part 1, they call it now part 2, part 3 and part 4. There are 4 parts in IELTS listening module. Each part contains 10 questions each, 10 for part 1, 10 for part 2 and 10 questions for part 3 and 10 for that of part 4. So total number of questions we have in IELTS listening module, that is how many? 40 questions. And the time you will have, it will be 30 minutes time to complete entire listening module part. You are supposed to solve all your listening test on the question paper, not on your answer sheet. At the end of the test, when you're done with it, you will be given 10 extra minutes time to transfer your answers from question paper towards your answer sheet. So 10 extra minutes time will be given at the end of the test. This is section 1, as I said. The number of speakers, you will have 2 speakers. In first section, or part 1 of your listening test, you will have 2 people talking to one another, and it will be a telephonic conversation, like they will be talking on telephone, and it is a general type of conversation. It's not academic one, it's non-academic, because they can talk about anything. Like suppose you call to any of the hotel and you want to book a room for yourself. So for your reservation, you need to call to the manager of that hotel and you want to talk on the that of telephone. So part 1 of your listening test is considered to be the easiest part, so I will suggest you to get as much correct answers as possible. Then you will have part 2, as I earlier said, that part 2 again it contains 10 questions, and the number of speakers, you will have only 1 speaker. It means that your IELTS listening test, it is a monologue plus it's a dialogue. Monologue means when one person he talks, and dialogue means when more than 1 people they talk to one another. So part 2 of your IELTS listening test, it's a monologue. Only 1 person will be talking there, and again, as I said, it's non-academic. It's not an academic, it's a general type of topic. 1 speaker, he will be talking to a number of people on different type of topics. Suppose there is a tour guide and he talks to people that, hi, this is me Safi and we are going clear on a tour to Islamabad. We will spend 5 days over there, and he gives more information. 1 person he talks. Part 3 of your IELTS listening test, you will have the number of speakers. It ranges from 1 to 4 speakers. Number of speakers are more from 1 to 4. And this part is an academic part. Like suppose group of people, 1 to 4 people, students, they sit together and they talk on any of the academic topic. Suppose they talk on scholarships. They want to study abroad in a foreign country and they are talking on scholarship. So what they are talking on scholarship, so over here they move with that. So number of speaker, it varies, it ranges from 1 to 4 speakers. And the last part 4 of your listening test, again, it's a monologue. You will one person, one speaker to talk, and it's an academic part. It is like a university lecturer. He talks to a group of people. Only one person will be talking. So this is the part 4, and we have got 4 parts in IELTS listening test. After this, it's a complete structure. I want to give you some of the tips before you start your listening test. Before you go with your listening test, there are some of the points to score 9 band in IELTS listening. So what are those tips you need to follow? If you follow all these steps, so it's not that difficult to get 9 out of 9 band in IELTS listening test. So let's come towards tip number 1. We have that when you are been given your test, try to predict the topic. What is the topic? The topic, for example, this is the listening test that I have, the book. And the topic we have, that is about job inquiry. This is my topic, job inquiry. So now, predict the topic. You need to predict the topic before going or listening to the speaker. You need to go job inquiry, the topic it is. You need to predict that what am I supposed to listen in this part. You're going to listen about the conversation for what? For job inquiries. So this is number 1 thing, you need to predict the topic, because prediction keeps you focused. When you have been told that the conversation you are going to listen on which topic, job inquiry. If you did not go with the topic, the title topic, so you will not be aware what the speaker is going to talk about. So the topic gives you hints, or it keeps you more focused to understand or to get some idea that what this topic is all about. Number 1. Number 2, you need to predict the questions. What sort of questions are being asked from you? These are the questions, for example, type of work. The first question we have, type of work. So if it has been asked from you type of work, so what type of work? You need to predict that what type of work it can be. Either it can be a librarian, it can be like, a doctor, it can be an engineer, what type of work it is. You need to predict the question for yourself. This is the second tip. The third tip, you need to go with that of, this is very important, that how can you improve your time? Because when you start your listening test, you will not have that much time to predict the questions. So I'm going to give you one more important tip here. If you understand, I'm sure you can get very good band in IELTS listening part. Look, when the test gets started, speaker would be talking about what? The general format of the listening test. He will say, you will have 40 questions, and the total number of parts in IELTS listening test, you have 4, and you will have 30 minutes time to complete your test, and at the end of the test, you will be given 10 extra minutes time to transfer your answer from the question paper to your answer sheet. Now the speaker, he talks. But you already understand all these things for the listening test. You don't need to listen to the speaker. What you will do, that 30-second time, you will spend where? You will spend on reading the questions. You will read the questions. These are the questions. Instead of listening to the speaker about the general instructions he will give or she will give to you, you should spend your time on reading the questions, understanding the questions, predicting the questions. After that, what you need to do, that is for 30 seconds almost she will talk. So you increase 30 minutes. After when she completes or he completes, he will tell you, she will tell you that turn to section 1 or part 1. When you turn to part 1, he or she will tell you that now you have some time to read from question 1 to 5. So from 1 to 5, again, you will be given how much time? 30-second time. So if you've been given 30-second time from the general, conversation you got, and 30-second time you got from where you got from that off. The time has been given to read the question. So how much time we have now? We converted the 30-second time into 1 minute time. When you're done from 1 to 5 questions, after that they will come from 6 to 10. But before coming to 6 to 10, they will tell you, the speaker will tell you that now you have some time to recheck your answers from 1 to 5. But what I suggest you don't need to recheck your answers. What you have written, that is all done, because you are not going to listen to the recording the second time. So you will move to, instead of rechecking your answers from 1 to 5, go and find out, you should spend your time from 6 to what? From 6 to 10, the bottom. So how much time will be given? 30-second time has been given to you. But when these 30 seconds time is finished, again, the speaker will let you know, they will tell you, now you have some time to read from question 6 to 10. How much time? 30-second time. Again, you increase from 30-second time to how much time? 1 minute of your time in the listening test. And this is the next step you should use and wisely. Next one, you have to be very careful. If you miss any of the answers, if an answer, you missed it. So forget about the missing answer, because the total number of questions you have got 40. If you did not answer one of them, so do not be panicked, move ahead. Don't be panicked over there, do not get stuck, and do not lose your nerves. Be patient, move ahead with the next questions. Next, if you're suppose completely lost, you don't know where the speaker is. So for this, whenever the rest of the people they sit in the hall, when they turn the page, you should also turn the page, because you will hear the sound of the page. You should also turn the page, and from where directly you can take a start from this place as well. It happens, and I'm sure it will not happen to you, but in case, unfortunately, if it happens, so you can do this trick as well. Next, very importantly, remember that in listening test, in IELTS listening, it is all about synonyms and paraphrasing. It's about synonyms and paraphrasing. Keep in your mind. You must focus on synonyms and paraphrasing. What I mean by synonym and paraphrasing, what has been written on the question paper for you, the speaker will not say the exact words. He will use synonyms and paraphrasing for that question. For example, let me give you one of the question. This is number 1 question, and what they have written, the early, for example, train leaves at dash. They have given you on the question paper, the train leaves at dash. But if you keep waiting for the speaker to say exactly these words, so it is never going to happen. How is that? This is the early train leaves. You need to find out the synonyms. Leaves, they can use goes. Leaves, they can use departures. Another word, they will be using synonyms for this. So be careful. If you're not aware with this track or done by the IELTS, you will be tracked, you will be deceived, and you cannot get good band in IELTS. And again, this question will be rephrased. How can they say? Now, when the speaker said, you find these words in your question paper, and how the speaker he said. He says, at 9 o'clock, the train departures. At 9 o'clock, the train departures. What you are waiting for? You are waiting for that the person will say the early train departures and 8 clear. But he said first of all the answer, and then he said, he rephrased. So be careful with this track that IELTS they are doing. The next track, what they want to say, they want to deceive you with another track, distractor. IELTS and IELTS listening test, they will be using different sort of distractors. What type of distractors are being used? The speaker would say one answer first, and that would be wrong, and later on he will correct himself with another answer. These different sort of distractors are being used by the IELTS speaking test, especially in part 1 of it. For example, if I say, if you call to our office and you ask them that when are we going to start our new IELTS classes, and if we say our new IELTS classes are going to be started on Monday, once the speaker said on Monday, but later on he or she will correct himself. We say, oh sorry, the classes are going to be started on Tuesday. Now can you see, first they say Monday, the candidates, they write down Monday, and that is incorrect, and they have corrected themselves with that of later on with Tuesday or another end of the day's name. So be careful with this type of distractors with the IELTS part 1. The next important thing that you should be very careful with the spellings and grammar. Spellings are important. There is no difference either if you use American spelling or British spelling. But among these two, there should be a spelling either American or British. But if it is wrong, neither American nor British, then you are going to face the music. Your answer would be incorrect. Next, you need to be like the spelling. For example, we have color, C-O-L-O-R, it's an American. C-O-L-O-U-R, it's in British. But if you write like the C-O-L-U-R, this is neither in American nor in British. If you write this one or this one, both of them are correct. But if you write this one, this is incorrect. So be careful with this. Next, capitalization is a big problem. If there is a word that's a proper noun and you start with small, again it creates a problem. To finish this problem, I need to give you a tip. You are supposed to write down either the whole answers in small letters or capital letters. For example, the answer you get apple, so write down A-P-P-L-E, all of them in small. The second one, again you will write entirely with small letters. For example, you say orange. So again, orange, there is no capital. Don't write any of the capital letters. Tell the all 40 answers should be in small letters. Or either you can write down the whole answer with a capital from 1 to 40 answers, like apple, A-P-P-L-E. It should be in capital, O-R-A-N-G-E. So your punctuation problem has been finished here. Your marks will not be deducted with it of your punctuations. Next, read the instructions very carefully before you start your test. Instructions is very important because we will be given the instructions in words limit. If they ask you write down not more than 2 words, and if you write 3, your marks would be deducted. 2 words mean 2 words. Either you can write 1 but not 3. Or if they have asked you write down not more than 3 words, and if you write 4 words, again your answer would be incorrect. So be very careful with the words limits. They do not cross the words limit. If you cross the words limits, your marks will be deducted at that time. There is no negative marks in IELTS listening test, so do not leave the answer blank, clear answer blank. So you need to write down something. We will be inshallah right back with another video where we will inshallah study about how to solve different sort of questions, multiple choice questions, how to complete a table with different type of questions. We will come inshallah, we will record individual videos on all those questions. Till that, Allah Hafiz, keep yourself happy and remember me in your prayers. Allah Hafiz.